Hi and welcome back to the Football Meta. Since the appointment of Carlo Ancelotti, Everton have been flying high in the Premier League, achieving some very impressive results and raising some eyebrows along the way. They had a very active transfer window and brought in the likes of Allan, Doucoure and maybe the value signing of the summer with James Rodriguez. All that, alongside the rising form of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, has left Everton fans dreaming of what lies ahead for them this season. Before we look at some of their impressive results from this season, let's look at the numbers behind the performance. Everton are currently sitting in 6th position, only 4 points off the current leaders Tottenham. Considering the high number of goals he is scoring, Calvert-Lewin only has an average of 14 passes per game, a sign of Ancelotti's tactics of moving the ball wide and providing deadly crosses into the area. This also explains Dean's 4 assists so far, providing a high number of crosses into the area for the striker to get his head on. Finally, Everton have the joint highest number of goals from set pieces this season, 6, which is tied with Chelsea. Let's look at their preferred attacking routes. Everton attack a whopping 42% down the left flank, 27% down the middle, and 31% down the right wing. When looking to build up play, we can see the patience that Ancelotti has instilled in his team, with 30% in their third, 47% of play happening in midfield, and 24% in the opposition third. 16% of Everton's shots have come from the left flank, 76% from the middle, and 8% from the right side. While of these shots, 15% were in the 6-yard box, 50% in the 18-yard box, and 35% from outside the area. Although it's still early in the season, these numbers provide a detailed insight into the main threats that Everton possess. Now, let's look at their preferred starting 11 and the changes their formation has gone through throughout the season. Throughout his career, Ancelotti's preferred starting lineup was a 4-4-2, and after a brief stint with this last season, he switched to a 4-3-3, given their active transfer window and the quality of personnel he has in midfield. He has also experimented with a 3-4-3, with Alex Iwobi playing as a fullback when Coleman isn't available. The front three will often switch into a 4-3-1-2, with James playing more centrally and Richarlison moving up alongside Calvert-Lewin. With James moving in to occupy the centre, the midfield three will become a diamond. When attacking high up the pitch, the formation will easily switch to a 2-3-3-2, with Dean and Coleman becoming attacking wingers and providing width and delivery, while the three midfielders will work hard to stop any counter-attacks. Everton's ability to adapt to how the other team lines up has made them a very difficult team to play against this season. Now let's look at their attacking play and the threats it possesses. While last season, Everton would tend to play a lot more direct and go long to either Richarlison or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, this season they are a lot more dependent on building up play from the back, with Pickford usually looking for the two centre-backs to start the play, who will come and collect the ball on the edge of the box to start their move. This is where we immediately see a difference in how they shape up. Firstly, if the other team is pressing high up the pitch, then Gomez will often drop deep to become a double pivot alongside Allan, with Doucoure pushing up between the lines to receive any line-breaking balls. Secondly, if the other team doesn't press, then Allan will usually be the only midfielder linking the midfield and defence. With Gomez and Doucoure playing higher up the pitch, the fullbacks will also start their move up to receive the ball from Allan if he is under pressure. Thirdly, if the opposing team is pressing the centre-backs, then Allan will shift to become a back three and make it hard for the opposition to close the passing lanes. In this scenario, Doucoure and Gomez will drop and form a double pivot, which will often result in James drifting inside to become an attacking midfielder, also freeing up the space for Coleman to push up on the flank. With Doucoure and Gomez dropping deep, this forces the opposition to make a decision. Firstly, if they choose to mark Doucoure and Gomez, then this will leave plenty of space for James between the lines. Secondly, if they decide to sit back and mark James, then Doucoure and Gomez have plenty of space to start the play. In the second phase of their attack, we start to notice the differences that occur on the two flanks. Let's first take a look at what happens down the right. The position usually sees James, Doucoure and Coleman shifting the ball rapidly between them and slowly drawing in the press from the opposing team. If the space is available, Coleman will make an overlapping run on the wing, looking to get in behind, or James will attempt to dribble towards the centre, similar to what we see Messi mastering throughout his career. But the real threat when on the right is actually occurring on the opposite wing. Richarlison will often move more centrally alongside Calvert-Lewin, freeing up plenty of space on the wing for Dean to get into. This is where we see the deadly left foot of James coming into play. From here, Everton will aim to switch play to Dean or attempt a more direct Ziyech-style ball into Richarlison, who will either attempt to knock it down for Calvert-Lewin or go for goal himself. Now let's see what happens when the ball's on the left wing. Everton are a lot more direct on this flank, with Dean providing the most amount of crosses into the area looking for the target man in Calvert-Lewin. Richarlison's role is also crucial along this side, providing a dribbling threat with swinging shots on the back post or a physical challenge in the air. With Everton on the left flank, we also see James arriving late on the back post, usually leaving him with plenty of space to receive the ball and take a shot. As we just saw, Everton is very good at exploiting the weaknesses in the opposition defence and switch play to find open space. Now let's look at some of the strengths and weaknesses in their defensive lineup. Defensively, Everton have a very specific structure that they fall into. In the first phase of their defensive football, Everton will attempt to man press the opposing team and try and cut the passing lanes between the defence and the attack. To avoid being hit on the counter, with Coleman and Dean playing high up the pitch, Gomez and Doucoure are able to shift into the fullbacks' positions to cover the flanks, with Allan attempting to block any passing lanes in the middle. If their press is broken, then the fullbacks will move back into their positions, and Richarlison and James will move alongside in the midfield, leaving only Calvert-Lewin on the line of the back four, transforming into a 4-5-1. If the opposing team is able to cross the ball in between the two centre-backs, then Everton have faced a lot of issues, with the two centre-backs often losing their man and not knowing who to mark. The main issues with this is the lack of support that Coleman has on the right wing defensively, where he is often outnumbered and it's easier for the opposing team to overlap and create dangerous crosses. Everton's strong attacking football has also been the cause of some of their downfall this season. While James Rodriguez has been fantastic for the Toffies going forward, his defensive football leaves a lot to be desired, often leaving the right wing exposed to counters, something we saw a lot of in Man United's 3-1 win against Everton. Everton are also facing some disciplinary issues this season, with two of their players already being sent off, with Richarlison being out for 3 games, of which they lost all 3. Recently, Everton's performances have left a lot to be desired. With their 2 fullbacks being out due to injury, the team has struggled to create some clear goal-scoring opportunities. Now, although it's still too early to predict where Everton will finish this season, the opening 10 games have raised the spirits at the club, and European football is definitely on the cards. If you like this style of content, please be sure to stick around and leave any comments or suggestions down below. Thanks for watching.